Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It's 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I'm up and painting already. It's one of those weeks when I just love, I get into painting and the time just flies by. I'll be in the middle of painting a forest or trees and I'll look at the clock and it'll be a little after lunch and I'll look at the clock again and it'll start getting dark out and the time just goes by incredibly fast when I'm doing this. It's something I love doing and it's an escape for me. Anyway, all right. I wanted to talk to you guys this morning. I hadn't planned this video at all, so it's going to be, as usual, it's from my heart. It's just off the top of my head. I was watching Beau the Fifth Column. Once again, you guys know. I faithfully watch every video of his every morning, and he's the only YouTube channel I can say that about for over the last 2 or 3 years since I've been watching YouTube. So anyway, I was watching a video, Trump's Next Move, I believe it's called. I think it's his last video from yesterday, from Thursday, December 10th. And he said something, and it made me think. He was talking about Trump supporters becoming aware that they were duped because of Trump is still collecting. At last check, I think he had $200 million he had taken in since the election. I'm sure it's more than that now, more than $200 million. Is his defense, or not defense fund, but his fight to steal stuff, and people are apparently donating quite a bit of money to this. All right, and so Beau was talking about how Trump supporters. Well, anyway, getting back to that, he's talking about the Texas legislator, Secretary of State, I believe, that's filing suit, and everybody's jumping. Well, other secretaries of state are jumping on the bandwagon, and Beau is talking about why. But then Beau says something about Trump supporters will realize that they were being duped, that they're donating money, and all the while Melania is figuring out where she's going to. Is she going to move to New York or Mar-a-Lago? And Beau mentions that Trump supporters will soon realize they've been duped, and I started thinking about that, and I say the same thing in my videos. I always use that idea that sooner or later they're going to realize, they're wrong, how they got screwed over, how they were lied to. And I gave that some thought, and you know what? That just isn't true. I don't believe that. I believe that the majority of people that are supporting Donald Trump right now, especially right now, after a month past the election, if they're still supporting him right now, I gave this some thought. Because a lot of times I think we assume that Trump supporters operate like normal people. And I'm not being an ass when I say that. I've heard Trump supporters described as people who just want to see the world burn. And I know what they're saying. I know what they mean when they say that, because I have felt that before. Back before I was in recovery, I had a lot of it would seem that Trump supporters operate like on an emotional level. It would seem that like I said, I'm not a psychiatrist, but if I had to kind of describe how I believe Trump supporters operate, I believe that with the country and the government and politics in general over their lifetimes, and I think most Trump supporters are probably in 40s to their 60s or 70s, the older group. I think they're the group of people that have just become disillusioned, have become upset with the whole political situation. I believe also that these are the people that don't have the means to figure out how to go about change in a creative, positive way. And I think, meaning maybe through protests, through YouTube, through setting up people to vote, creative, positive means. And I think a lot of these people probably aren't all that educated. And I think it's born out of frustration, where I think they're basically saying that I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. I don't want to play anymore. Or you know what? I want to burn the baseball field down. That's the kind of feeling I get from Trump supporters, that they are frustrated, and they have a I'll show you kind of mentality, which is why they elected Donald Trump. And I honestly don't believe that will ever change. I believe, if anything, with that kind of mentality, I really think that it's just going to get more set in stone as these people get older. And the only way that this group of authoritarian-based people that don't even recognize fascism, their version of patriotism is fascism. I just, not being rude, but I don't think they're very well educated. I think they become frustrated and they don't know how to deal with it, and in any other way than to say, screw the whole system. I'm going to do the most upsetting thing possible in electing Trump. And I think they still operate on that. I think that's exactly why they're doing what they're doing now with this whole Stop the Steal thing. I think in the back of their head, they know rationally that Trump is a terrible choice for president, and that's why they elected him. They wanted somebody that was going to burn down the system, and they got him. And right now, they know he didn't win. They know the truth. They know that he lost by 6-7 million votes. But what are they going to do? Are they going to admit defeat? No, of course not, because that's not their MO at this point. Their MO is to say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to do what nobody expects me to do, what I'm not expected to do. Screw the system, screw what people expect from me. It's that mentality. And like I said, I recognize this because I used to have this back when I was using. It's one of the reasons I used. It was that same mentality. I'm not going to play by your rules anymore. I don't. It's unfair, and I don't want to play by your rules anymore. So screw everything. It's that kind of immature personality, and I think some of it too is just a lack of will and intelligence to do anything other than be destructive to the situation. To be honest. And I that's not going to change. It would take something profound for a person to change from that path. Like with me, it was jail, possible death, and then recovery. It would take something profound. And it took me a while. When I heard Beau, the Fifth Column, talk in his video, it clicked. Trump supporters changed. And then I pictured the average Trump supporters I know, and it clicked, like I said, because I've said the same thing in my videos. I think it's just people like me and him, we have this natural assumption that people will act rationally and logically. And that's not what Trump supporters are. I think they feel that they've been pushed to a point where they're just going to do the opposite of what they should do, of what's expected of them, of what traditionally has been done, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a worrisome thing too. The next 40 days of what to expect to him, and I think Donald Trump is pretty much. I think he takes advantage of that. I don't think he's one of those people because he does have the means, being power and money. But I think he enjoys taking advantage of people like this. He uses them to his benefit. And I think it goes back to what I've always said too about people that are constantly, I've talked about this before, people that are constantly measuring themselves up against their neighbor, against people in other states, against the conservatives, against the liberals, or this or that. When you're constantly measuring where you are or how you're doing or your life against somebody else's, I truly believe it just leads to unhappiness, envy, greed. Nothing good can come of this. This is just something I've learned personally in recovery. Is that, you know, I've caught myself doing that recently. I come across somebody I know on Facebook and I see how well they're doing, and it's just nothing good ever comes of it. The best thing you can do is when I look at myself and I see where I you know, how far I've come in the last 14 years. That's what's important. That's all that matters. Anyway, just some thoughts today. The bottom line, I don't see Trump supporters ever changing. I don't think they're ever going to wake up. I don't think they're ever going to get angry at Donald Trump for lying to them. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They know they're being lied to, and they relish it. They love it. Because it's illogical, it's irrational. It goes against the system. They feel that they've been wronged by the system. They feel that they've been taken advantage of by the system. So that at every chance they get, they're going to do the opposite, regardless of if it's against their own self-interest. It's the big F you. You know, I don't care if it hurts me. I don't care if it kills me. I'm tired of playing this game, and I won't play it anymore. And I'm going to do what I'm not supposed to do. I'm going to do what you don't expect me to do. I'm going to burn the whole thing down. That's your Trump supporter. All right, you guys have a good Friday. I'll be back later with another video.